all of these, it's really a tangle, all kinds of things that, you know, this is everything we've kept for the last few years.
Wow.
It actually makes a pretty display, but it's really not a very nice display.
Not when you think about
all
why
the suffering
you got
that
it.
this has caused. So that's why this is such a
Absolutely.
great program, and everybody coming together and working on this is just wonderful. And the supporters, the people that sponsored the containers, it's just a really wonderful
Greatly
thing.
appreciated.
I hope all the rest of the towns. I surely will be taking this to the town of Southampton and
Very good.
showing them what we can do.
Great. And I know the Riverhead Foundation, if you guys, if anyone ever gets a chance to go there and visit, they've got, you know, all kinds of globs of this stuff that they, even off of one animal, you know, they'll take a whole mess of it off and balloons and, you know, all this kind of stuff. So it's a really good thing. Now there's a few different parts to this project. It's monofilament recovery and recycling. So the recovery is something that everyone can work on. When you walk on the beach, you know, pick up the stuff, and now, especially in the town of East Hampton, the people will have about 30 different locations to know that they can put this stuff in here.
Wonderful.
And part of the problem with just throwing it away in the trash, and Gab, you could probably talk to that, is, you know, if you throw this stuff into the regular trash, and
it still gets tangled up with the seagulls. You'd be surprised how many seagulls are flying around with monofilm lines and plastics.
I mean, they go into the trash and to get their goodies, and
Yeah.
they come out all tangled up with the fishing line.
Exactly. So this should be a good thing for the environment. Yep.
And you know, in case your town doesn't have a project like this going on, well, first of all, you know, go on the internet and check out, you know, different projects. These are, this isn't new. This is in Florida, Texas, Westchester, New York City, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, you know, probably in the Midwest, they've got lakes. I mean, this isn't something new, you know, so it's just getting people to do it and realize the importance of it. And also part of the recovery, if there's any dive clubs or scuba divers or even like a dive team from a fire department, it would be really nice if they could organize a recovery day and go around the docks where people fish and stuff like that. Because as a diver, you go down there and there's just stuff everywhere. So if we could, not only to save ourselves, but to save the fish and the animals that might get tangled up in it. So we can do the recovery. And now the recycling, I want to talk about that. Let's go over, let me just bring this out front here. This whole project, I really can kind of thank the Berkeley Conservation Institute. Berkeley is owned by Pure Fishing, and this fishing line is going to get sent back to Berkeley. They provide self-addressed, postage-paid boxes that the town of East Hampton is going to have a whole bunch of these boxes, and they're going to, maybe once a month during the fishing season, go around, empty these receptacles, and there's just a little, these little screws are on the bottom of each one, and there's some holes that Bob has been working on. Quietly, he's quietly drilling, and to let any water drain out. So the town will go around, and they're going to empty these receptacles into these boxes, postage paid, pre-addressed, just put some tape on the top, and they have to make sure they put their return address, and Berkeley will send them another box. As soon as they get the full box, they send them back a few more boxes. And what Berkeley does, the Berkeley Conservation Institute, is they melt it down and they make it into pelletized plastics. And this plastic gets made into things like fishing tackle boxes and other plastic items. But something that I think is really important that they make is these fish habs. And what the fish hab is they can be installed in marine reserves or lakes or private lakes or really anywhere that code will allow it. And it will encourage fish and algae growth, and in other parts of the country, corals and stuff like that. So it's really a win-win situation for everybody involved. How you guys doing back there? You guys are speedy.
I think we're done.
You're done? That was like 14 minutes, Amy.
I think we're...
Very good. So we're going to give these to the town of East Hampton. Maybe we'll do another little show and present them to them. And I think it's the Parks Department. I'm pretty sure they're going to go around and put these up on, they're going to be hung on a, whether it's a 4x4 or a pole or, whatever it is, close to where people fish, so that this way everyone will be able to, know where to bring this stuff. And these boxes are provided free of charge by Berkeley. I've got these in about 15 different locations in the town of East Hampton and a few in Hampton Bays. And I've got to say that every place that I went to ask the marina owners and the tackle stores if they would put these in, they were all, just really, really open to the whole idea. And I think I have a list. I do. Some of the places that the towns proposed, Beach Lane, Kirk Park, end of East Deck, West Lake, Louse Point, Indian Wells, Nix Beach, East Lake, Head of Harbor. So, just places where people normally fish. And some of my donors include Mr. Darenberg over at the Montauk Marine Basin, Paulie's Tackle, Lenny from Barnes Country Store, Andy Sabin, the group for the East End, Dr. Mary Pearl. We had the Montauk Sports Fishing Association. I hope I'm not leaving anybody out. I might be, and I'm sorry if I am. And I think the other good thing about having so many people involved is that with any new initiative of recycling, it's really good to get community involvement and to get people excited and talking about it. And I think another, Bob, you might be able to talk about this, is that some people might not be interested in fishing line, and some people might not be interested in wildlife, but just to get the visual of recycling, the word recycling.
Well, I think what we've learned over the years is that the more readily accessible recycling bins are for people, and the more present it is in our everyday lives, whether it's next to a soda machine, whether it's next to a parking lot where somebody's been fishing, one of the biggest problems with recycling is just that you don't think about it because we live in a throwaway society,
right.
And unless you're reminded, and these certainly remind people, it doesn't get ingrained culturally, so it doesn't become part of our daily ethic. There's things that we do every single day, and we don't think about them, and we're trying to get recycling to be one of those things.
Right.
But it's still in that case where you have to kind of see it right in front of you. So what's nice about this is that this is also informational. It's an educational tool for people. It reminds people when they're walking around with a handful of this stuff and just maybe throw it in the garbage or drop it on the ground. Or if they've walked down the beach like a lot of times I have or other people have, and you see it out there and you go, well, I'll pick this up, but what do I do with it?
Right.
And it may have a fish hook on it or something like that, and people just say, I'll just leave it there. Well, here's something that when you get out of the car, you get off your bike, you'll see this, you take a walk down the beach, and now you'll remember that there's a place here for this. And as you say, it's also being recycled into products that are going to be made to serve people down the line. So it's not like you're just putting it in here and then taking it and putting it in the dump.
Right,
it's going to go someplace, and it's going to do some good, and it's going to make something for people. And that's what recycling is supposed to be all about. So I think there is a larger educational component here that goes well beyond fishing and wildlife, while those are very important.
Right, that's what I was thinking.
But it's really also building in that conservation ethic of thinking a little bit more about what we do with the things that are waste products from our everyday, lives, whether it's, going to the delicatessen or whether it's going out fishing. So it's good stuff.
Thank you.